What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Scale News Update, the first episode of 2025. That is still tough to remember. Every year, I have the hardest time remembering what number to say. But if you're not familiar with the show, this is where we talk about the news topics that happened in the scale world of RC over the past week. So if you enjoy the Scale News Update regularly, hit the like button, and let's jump into all of this week's topics. First for this week, a big recall from Traxxas, specifically affecting their slipper pad material. Now this affects both some nitro and electric vehicles, and not just some. It's a pretty big list, but most specifically, this is affecting people in the EU. Now, these same products may be used in the US. Not 100% sure on if they are or are not. I would assume that they are. I would assume that they're using the same products in both places, but they probably just don't hit a threshold here in the US. The slipper pads have some amount of asbestos in them, and that is hitting an unallowable threshold in those countries. And I guess it was hitting that during a pretty long period of time. It says specifically that these products were made available from 2002 to 2024 in June. So June of 2024 all the way back to the 1st of January 2002. Now, not 100% sure if that was all products. I'm sure it's not, because I think a lot of these parts were not, or these vehicles weren't even out then. So I think they're just putting a range where some of these products were in this huge realm of cars that are affected. So what happens at this point is that they are not instructing customers to change them out themselves. What you're supposed to do is take it back to where you bought it, and then that place will ship it to a location to have it changed. Or if you bought it, secondhand, you bought it from a store that isn't in business anymore, things like that, then you can contact through the form on their website, which I'll link below if you're interested, where you can contact and get a shipping label where they will pay to ship your vehicle to this service center, have the parts changed out with compliant materials, and then shipped back to you. So that is what everything is about. Now, is this going to be this wildly expensive, crazy impactful thing for Traxxas? I would highly doubt it. I would guess that most of the people affected by this either will never hear about this recall, will hear about it and not care, or just be mad about it, but then still not do anything about it. I guess it just is going to depend on how offended they are by having this level of asbestos in those things. That is a bad material. It has done a lot of bad things. I've seen all of the TV commercials as well. But do I think that this is actually going to be something that is wildly crazy? No. Tom Lee did a video about it. Great title, gonna cost Traxxas millions type title. Great title. Had the information in there. Will it cost them millions? I highly doubt it. I think that this is probably just something that's like, hey, you got to do this, you got to state this, you have to offer to ship and replace and all that. And I'm guessing that most people will just be like, I'm not worried about it, and move on with their lives. But when you hear about a big Traxxas recall, that is currently the one that they're going to be mentioning. In our ongoing weekly segment of What New RC10 Did Team Associated Release this week, we've got the RC10 GT, a nitro-powered RC10 that does not come with the nitro engine. You will have to supply your own nitro engine for this. Now, that may not be out of the, that may seem reasonable to a lot. However, from the comments that I read during the release, this takes a nitro engine with a certain type of output that really is not seen or available much these days. I think that one of the few options that you can buy today with this type of output is like a older Traxxas nitro engine, like the 2.5 or something from way back. Beyond that, the manufacturer that we talked about going out of business not so long ago, they might have been the other one producing this type, or it's just completely gone out of style. No one makes it anymore, and they just and then just Team Associated decided to just re-release the old product as is without updating anything to the times. Maybe just a sign of other Team Associated things that we've talked about over and over and over for weeks and weeks and months at this point. So there's the newest RC10 release for the week. I'm sure that more are just around the corner. But speaking of Team Associated, they have made a couple of posts recently about bringing people on. One of them just this last week, bring them on as an advisory board, somebody that they're just going to bounce ideas off of. It sounds like not actual employees or designers. It seems just people who had experience and that they're going to bring on in this advisory board type situation. Not really sure if that will change any of the actual things going on at Associated, if it's a good thing or not, but stuff's happening. And if you're happening to want to think about supporting the channel a little bit more, channel membership is available. Like I said, help support the channel a little bit extra. You get access to videos early, like Scale News Update. You get it the night before. There's extra videos like After News Delight, which is an extension of the Scale News where we get into a little bit more depth on some things, a little bit more candid. Then there's also just other behind the scenes videos, things like that. If you're interested, link in the description below with all of that information. Thanks again to all of you who watch regardless. And on Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, come watch live stream takeover. Matt and I will be talking about all of the goings on of the RC world. It's the second most consistent RC show on YouTube next to the Scale News. So come join us as always, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Next, for those of you who are H10, either RTR or kit owners, if you wanted a specific body panel set available in the H10 Optic kits, those are in stock now, as well as if you're a kit owner and you want a matching color grille to your body panel set, those are also on the website as well. The body panel sets come in each of the color options, and each of them include the decals that were included when in the kit. So you can change up your truck to look like any of those versions that you may like, with exception of the special true carbon fiber one that is not purchasable separately. So I'll put a link to those products down in the description below, and also include links to all of the products that we talk about today. And if you'd like me to talk about one of your products and you work for an RC manufacturer, you can send me an email to news@harleydesigns.com. In there, include a photo, a description of the product, and a link to the product on your website. We'll see if we can get it on the Scale News. For this week, we had a couple of submissions. One didn't actually come from the company. It came from someone who got a photo of a leak to a new Futaba radio coming out here in the next few weeks. This is the Futaba 6PV. Now, this is going to take what appears to be a number of things from like the 10PX and bring it down to a more inexpensive radio. Futaba have had the 4PMs, the 4PLs, 4PVs, things like that over the years. This is a step up in that area, but hopefully with a little bit more trickle down from their high-end radios. The high-end Futaba radios are fantastic. They are very expensive though, and it is nice to have the, higher number of channels. So the 6PV could be a nice offering. Again, full details on this coming out before too long. So we'll see that hopefully here soon. When I do, we'll include it on the Scale News again. Another one for you H10 owners. This is a printable rear spare tire mount. This is available on Umagine. Umagine is that site, kind of like My Mini Factory. It's actually associated with My Mini Factory, but it's all for RC 3D printing. And files like this, H10 rear spare tire carrier, are available on there. Now, I'll put a link to this product in the description below, and you can go on there, you download the file, and then you 3D print this at home yourself. All you're buying is the actual digital file to allow you to create that. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, check that out. This week, H-Tech announced that they've got a new product coming. This is for that new CEN Sicario, the old school version of like the F450, the DL series trucks. Now, they posted this up. I assume that this is a spelling error, but this is the rower ring kit that they will be releasing. That is what they put. That is all. If you're interested in picking up the rower ring kit, watch for official H-Tech information to come shortly. Next, we have the FMS FCX-10 Professional chassis, classier version. This is still basically just a TRX4, but now they've put a brushless system in it. It's not exactly a TRX4, like parts don't go from one to the other, but if you just covered up some logos and said, what is this? Everybody who knows would just be like, oh, it's a TRX4. Their description basically says that it's got a brushless power system and that it has unmatched durability and reliability. I bet it's pretty closely matched to another one that looks very similar. This chassis ensures superior grip, heat resistance, and longevity on any terrain. Not available yet. Well, it is. It is on their website for sale for either $99 million or $99 billion. Same at that point, but the actual price probably come out here pretty soon. The previous version of this was about $300. Now the brushless version probably add 40 or 50 bucks to the price. That's where I would expect it roughly. RC Four-Wheel Drive just posted up. They've got a new rear bed for the VS410 Phoenix, which would also work on the Fordyce. Now, this is from CCHand. They're the actual creators of this, and like it's a rear bed. What's a little funny is that how this is written, it says that it is billet aluminum. Now, I don't think that it is. The photos that they're using are actually the previous version, the steel version of this bed, which I've got one of those, and it is very heavy. The steel version was 651 grams. The aluminum, they're advertising at 325. Now, like I said, they just used the photos from the previous listing. They didn't actually update anything on their website or show the actual product. I'm pretty confident that it doesn't look exactly like the steel one. Gauges of the metal would need to be different to be, to hold up to all this. So, and it says billet aluminum. So if it's actually machined or not, unsure. Really wish they would have used accurate photos for this product, but RC Four-Wheel Drive just did not do that. So I guess we'll see what this actually looks like, or if they'll actually go in and update the product listing to show you the product that you're actually going to get. That is what I would like to see. Price is not cheap on this, but well, I don't know what it actually looks like. So I can't tell if it's going to be something that seems like a pretty decent deal, if it's machined billet, or if we're going to have some version of aluminum welded thing. The description is a lot taken from this, saying how it, hand welded and things like that. So there's just a lot of contradictory terms going on in the description and the product photos and everything like that. I don't know what to expect yet. I just saw like, hey, oh, that could be cool. Saw it was lightweight, and because that was the biggest gripe of the other version they had. And then we got no real information. There's a new 110 scale car coming out of a company in China. And this is called like Sunggulan, and it's a Nissan Patrol. I don't know exactly how you pronounce the name of the company, but that's not the most important part. What is interesting about this is that they're talking a lot about how they are using AI in this RC car. And a lot of it is like basically just the smartphone app that you can get and that you can help or use to control a lot of like the functions that the car does, specifically going around or catering to the light system, which is pretty, talking about AI with lights, like, that's a little much. But the more interesting part is that they've actually like incorporated some GPS and like a game into the driving setup. So it says it scores how you're driving and will display that on the app on your phone. Then it also tracks where it's gone, and you can like draw on the map or show your path, things like that. How much you would want to trust an app like that? I mean, most of us probably have TikTok installed on their phone. Is that any better? Most likely not. I don't know. It is interesting. Like, I do like the kind of gamification of it. I think that could help draw certain people in, specifically younger people. So it's interesting. I kind of like some of the direction of the things that they're trying to bring into it, but I don't know. Would people actually use it? would you be more inclined to be interested if it wasn't from a company in RC that you've never heard of? Would you install that type of app, that type of thing? So interesting, but like from a distance. Would love to see if anything like that does get ported to a US market, how it would get picked up or how well it could be done. Killer Body is advertising that they've got a new rally type car coming. This is a Lancia rally car, 1/10 scale, rear wheel drive, which, most rally cars, at least most RC rally cars, you would expect to be an all-wheel drive platform. So seeing a rear wheel drive only version seems a little odd. Killer Body has done some killer bodies, pun intended. Some beautifully done things. You've probably seen some of their hard bodies. They had the Gladiator, the old LC70, and maybe an FJ. I can't remember on that one for sure. And then they also make a number of other Lexan bodies. But I don't know that I've seen a lot of, well, they did the Mercury chassis, right? That was an all Killer Body platform, which was not the best received, not the best finished, polished type product. This is a little bit more straightforward type of a platform. They're also advertising it currently on the overseas platform at only $136. So that price probably wouldn't be what we would see in our market. It would probably be a decent amount higher just because of shipping and all of that type of stuff, margins for dealers and distributors. Horizon is currently running a wild sale on some more SCX-6 tires. These are the Duratrax Fossil tires, and they're $12 a pair. That's super cheap for SCX-6 size tires. That's a huge discount as shown on there. I imagine this is a while supplies last thing. I can't imagine them reordering these tires when they're trying to get rid of them for only 12 bucks each. So if you've got a large scale project you're looking for some rubber for, or you just want to spare something for your SCX-6 at 12 bucks a set, that's ridiculously cheap and just continues to make you wonder how that SCX-6 platform is doing for sales. Rock Pirates have released their own comp body. This is the Trident comp body. Now this actually came out a few weeks ago and I just didn't see it. Rock Pirates sent me a message with this information, so time to get it here in the news. This is a cab only comp body. It is got a pretty significant pinch to it, so it's nice and small. I would say that this is Cherokee inspired. I think that's fair. I believe that one of the family associated with Rock Pirates wheels a Cherokee as well, so wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. Now, Rock Pirates is also pretty closely associated with Proline. We oftentimes see new Proline products spotlighted on Rock Pirates things. I believe that there's some crossover with the family and employees of the different companies, both. So this is, I would imagine, being produced there or by them. So I would bet that the quality is pretty decent if I was guessing. So, that side of things being, even though they've never produced their own Lexan body before, I would still have a decent amount of trust in this. So if the style is something that you like, price and performance meets your needs, check this out. You can go over check on the Rock Pirates website, and they also make comp chassis, comp truck kits, all kinds of stuff. New from Hardpark is a Rat Rod suspension setup. Now this is specifically made to work with the RC Everyday Rat Rod chassis body setup. But this thing, it's got leaf springs on it, but I absolutely am on board for that. This thing looks fantastic. Old school style beam front. The steering knuckles even have like a drum brake looking, like shape to the machining to it. Shock tower looks super Rat Rod appropriate. Everything about this just looks really cool. I think that this is an awesome looking product. It's not cheap, but for as much machining and what is likely some custom leaf springs, things like that, it seems pretty reasonable. Pair this with that RC Everyday kit. You can buy the body, the chassis kit, this front suspension. You can have a pretty sweet looking Rat Rod. I like it. Jump on over to Hardpark RC. I put a link down below where you can go directly to it as well. Then Carisma released a TRD Pro Tacoma SCA 1E 2.1 ARTR. The name that goes all the way across the screen. The SCA 1E 2.1, I don't believe is much of a different platform. I think it's basically as it's been, but it is an ARTR, almost ready to run. That's what the A part is. Now, what is left out is the radio servo ESC. It is including a motor. Now, there's a little bit of like differing information. The description, I believe, said it comes with a 17 turn. The video said that it comes with a 19 turn. So I'm not sure exactly which one it is. Now, that's a 5-pole motor. So that's closer to that like 35 turn speed. So it'll just be nice and smooth, but not overly fast. Don't let that turn count, deter you from that. Now, coming in 2 different colors, it is already painted. You can get it in a green or a silver. I don't remember. You can see the photo over there. I don't remember what it looked like. So, but ARTR, they just left some of that other stuff out, save you some cost there, but still leave it pretty much finished. An interesting, we've seen ARTRs in the past. They don't seem to stick around for a really long time. Seems like people either want kits or want RTRs. People try the ARTR line and then like it either just, I would think that if it was successful enough, we would keep seeing them around from the companies that have tried them in the past. I just don't know. So while that does it for this week's news topics, I do want to just take that last story and turn it into this week's question. For those of you that are in the market for an RC truck, it doesn't have to be the Carisma, because maybe that's just not a truck you can, whatever scale truck you have your eye on. Would you be more inclined to buy an ARTR so you could add the electronics that you want rather than having to replace stock RTR ones? Or would you rather build the whole kit and then do that? Like out of the 3 options, just stay RTR, build the whole kit, or this middle ground. Which one is the most appealing to you, whatever the platform may be? I get the appeal of the ARTR. Like, I've built so many kits, and while I still do enjoy it, there is times when I would just be like, I just wish this was done. Which is why I also at times enjoy the RTR world, and then I can upgrade stuff later. Even me as a pretty experienced hobbyist, I can enjoy that RTR market. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are down below. Enjoy the comments every week. My favorite part of the Scale News Update. So with that, if you enjoyed the Scale News Update, hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already, hit the notification bell. Channel memberships available if you're interested in that level of support. But with that, as always, thanks for watching. I did not get around to doing a review of like the top 10 things from last year, things like that. Stuff is starting. Some stuff is like, it's a little bit hectic at the moment over here. It's going to be for a couple of months at least, in a kind of quick and unexpected way. So all good stuff, more exciting stuff to come here before too long, but I am going to have to decide where to cut and where to, keep pushing. So I want to thank you all again for watching. It means the world to me. 2025, looking forward to. So hope you all had a good start to your year already. Enough rambling. See you on the next one.